Peace. So I've made a series of playlists for each of the 12 zodiac signs in Western astrology, using the project to meditate on the meaning of each sign as we pass through the seasons. The playlists are mostly between 6 to 8 hours long, and I've curated them so that you can listen to each one either in order for a curated journey through the themes and contradictions of each sign, or on shuffle play for a fun and magical experience using the shuffle algorithm as a kind of oracle. Each zodiac playlist is filled with songs by artists who were born under the appropriate sun sign, which has been a fun part of the project. I always feel, though, like I need to give this disclaimer that all of us are, obviously, complex humans, which to me means that we embody all the signs. I think the zodiac can only be deeply understood as a whole, as a reflection of the human condition. So, for me, the driving force in choosing these songs for these playlists was not the birthdays of the artists, although that did factor in, but rather the core spirit, messages, vibes, and imagery of the songs in relation to the signs of the zodiac. In this way, I've done my best to honor the complexity of both the symbols and the artists. You can access all 12 playlists here. I'm now also almost done creating these accompanying videos for each one. So you can check out the Sagittarius video here and stay tuned for Aquarius next month. The full videos and write-ups are available to patrons, and shorter forms are going out on social media. Thank you, as always, to my patrons for sustaining the work I do with my band, Adam Gottlieb and One Love, as well as fun stuff like this. And if you are not yet a patron, and you'd like to support my work of producing content that integrates music, poetry, spirituality, and revolutionary vision, I hope you will consider becoming a patron. At least as long as we still live under capitalism, and then after that, it won't matter so much. You'll gain access to loads of music, poetry, and other content that I've been creating for the last several years, and I'm constantly producing. In any case, I hope that both these playlists and videos help you appreciate the richness of the zodiac in ways that serve your personal evolution and spiritual growth. It's been a profound and fun project for me, and I'd love to hear your reactions, ideas, and suggestions, so please leave me a comment with any thoughts or feedback you may have, and thank you as always for watching, following, and supporting. Now let's kick off Capricorn. The word solstice means sun stands still. In a sense, the winter solstice is the most existential and powerful time of year. While the summer solstice brings us into the fullness of light and life, the winter solstice brings us deepest into life's shadow, the smallest point of light, the longest night, the darkness in full flowering. In the colder parts of the earth, midwinter is a time when humans, ancient and modern, have most potently felt the presence of death. Living things have retreated into stillness. Even the water has frozen. Life moves through its most fragile and vulnerable phase. Here we discover a most sacred truth. Life continues. Survivors go on in the world of the living, and even the dead survive in new forms. We now touch our deepest inner source of hope, and the light begins to return, the world reborn. The duality of light and dark makes the solstices poignant and complex, and this is perhaps especially true of the winter solstice, which is for many simultaneously the saddest and happiest time of year, the time of our rawest fears and most earnest hopes, the brightest and the darkest. The subtle paradox of the winter solstice marks so many of the holidays and rituals that have been tied to it across the world and throughout time. Yule, Saturnalia, Tuji, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, etc. And this paradox is also the secret to the sign of Capricorn. In popular astrology, Capricorn often gets the bad reputation for being the least spiritual and most materialistic of the signs, but this is wildly unfair. Remember, the symbol of Capricornus is not just the goat, but the fish goat. No other sign in the zodiac is as mystical and physically inconceivable. Half goat, half fish. As Capricorn astrologer Stephen Forrest points out in The Inner Sky, it is an impossible creature, except in the world of symbolism. It is important to remember how profoundly mysterious and subtle this symbol is, especially amid the cliché negative stereotypes of Capricorn as simplistic, rigid, and dogmatic. Yes, Capricorn can be those things, but its essence and destiny is so much greater. Only the sea goat can plunge to the deepest depths and also ascend to the highest peaks, embodying both the intuitive wisdom of the ocean diver and the courageous exploratory drive of the mountain climber, master of the physical plane, the cardinal earth sign, the light that is birthed in the deepest darkness. That's Capricorn. Let's talk about the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in relation to his sun sign Capricorn. Reverend King saw the mountaintop, as he said in his famous speech before his assassination. He was guided by a revolutionary vision that he articulated again and again, including, of course, in his most famous I Have a Dream speech. But he was also guided by the depths of his empathy for the suffering of his people, which he shared in. His vision was both grand and grounded, wonderful and practical. And for having such an exalted vision of what humanity was capable of, so removed from the daily lived reality of his own family and millions of others, he managed to stay in step with the movement, not leading from outside but from within it, always considering practical factors and drawing up tactics. He integrated realism and idealism, never naive to the harsh realities or the long arc of the struggle, and always keeping alive the fire of faith that provides a warmth and light in the coldest and darkest of times, including the dozens of times that he was jailed or imprisoned. Capricorn teaches us to embrace the epic responsibility that comes with accepting our role as real people living in a real world. The second half of the zodiac began with the autumn equinox. Through the passages of Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, the soul has emerged with a new level of self-awareness, intensity, and pragmatism. Capricorn corresponds to the winter solstice, when rituals honoring mythologies of saviors and salvation abound. Think about the fish part of Capricorn in relation to Jesus. But also to the figure of the devil, or Pan, the goat part. Both figures have to do with accepting reality in its entirety. The good, the bad, the holy, the ugly. In order for us to reach our full potential as humanity, we must also take on the serious burden of dealing with our collective sin or karma. All of us are called to this exalted task. This playlist is filled with great Capricorn artists from all genres, but also with songs that reflect the struggle to attain maturity and grounded wisdom. These songs openly revel in the ecstasies of life, while also openly wrestling with its most painful realities. Ultimately, by accepting and facing the harsh truths of nature head-on, we can find or make a home in this universe. By diving deep into ourselves, we are able to emerge and more fully express our deep impulse to love our neighbor as ourselves. Capricorn singer David Bowie sums it up. Love dares you to care for the people on the edge of the night. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Blessed Yule, Happy New Year's, and happy birthday to all my Capricorns out there. This playlist is for you and for all of us. May it help us to stay grounded and chill while doing the hard work of saving the world. One rooted love. Peace.